It's now possible to get access to Amazon's brand registry in 2 weeks. I recently did it, and I'm going to show you how to do it here in this video. Now, this whole process used to take you 9 months because you had to have a trademark first, and then you could get access to brand registry. Well, now Amazon decided to release a new program, and it's so good for new sellers. It's called their IP Accelerator. And what they've done is they've partnered with about 10 law firms, and if you use one of these law firms to apply for your trademark, you'll get access to brand registry as soon as their application gets submitted. It takes about 2 weeks, but then you have access. And you don't have to wait 9 months until you hear back from the trademark office whether you're going to get approved or denied for your trademark. Now, this is going to put somebody in a precarious situation where they get at brand registry and then 9 months later, their trademark gets denied. And we don't really know what's going to happen in this situation. Hopefully they keep access to go to a brand registry. Now the big benefits, okay, let's start with the cost. It's going to cost you $800 to $1,000. It may cost you more depending on how complex your trademark is. But if it's very simple for just a product, your first product, it'll just be $800 to $1,000 in that range. So with that, okay, the biggest benefits of a brand registry and why you would even want this is first and foremost, you get the exclusive ability to change your listing whenever, however. I personally have been locked out of multiple listings where I created a listing, I am the exclusive seller ever on this listing, and I still cannot change my title no matter what unless I go and submit a case to Amazon and submit supporting documentation every time I want to change anything with this listing. It really, really sucks. And by the way, what you have to do, for those of you dealing with this, you have to create your own website, get on Wix or something, create a brand website, get yourself a URL, set up a page that looks very similar to the Amazon page, and then use that as supported documentation. It's worked every time for me. So that's the first thing. You also get access to putting videos on your listing. You can currently do this on Fiverr for like $150, but this way is free after you have everything and is much easier to change in the future. You will then get access to getting rid of hijackers easier. You also get access to A+ content, which all those pictures you see in the description of other people's products, that is how they're doing it. And lastly, you get access to brand analytics, which has a lot more data about who your customers are, where they're coming from, than you will ever get without it. It's a lot more information. I'll probably be doing a video on that here in the future. So with that being said, let's go take a look at how this works and then I'm going to explain trademarks for you because these law firms are going to ask for a lot of information from you to get this application in. So it's going to help you a lot to understand what they're asking for and why. So with this, okay, you need to first go to this webpage right here. It's going to be linked in the description, as well as you could simply Google it. It's the IP Accelerator, and you just click Get Started. At that point, you'll go to this webpage. There's a lot of different law firms you can choose from, even with reviews. I personally had PCH do my application. Would never ever recommend them again. Again, they didn't seem very helpful. It seemed very transactional. But more importantly, they made a huge mistake, which has been a pain in the ass. Okay, my business partner sent the first communications to them, so they assumed that that was the email we wanted to set up a brand registry account with. Well, guess what? That's not the one we wanted. We wanted my email. So now he is the guy with the master permissions for this account. He had to give me permissions. But in the future, if like we got in a fight or something, I could be seriously screwed. And it seems like it's going to be pretty much impossible to get this changed. So don't go with them. They make way too many assumptions. But that is what it is. Please choose somebody else. And these should all be the same price because Amazon said originally when they started this program that they were going to pre-negotiate rates with all of these. And they should be the same rates, though I cannot guarantee that. Now, when you go and apply, you're going to start a nice and long email chain with them. I've got something like 30 emails back and forth from these people. Okay, they're going to need some information, which is going to require you to understand a little bit about trademarks. Obviously, they're going to need to know your company name or who you are as an individual and all that's info so they can submit that to the USPTO to say who's going to own this trademark. But they also need other stuff. They're going to need to see your product and they're going to need help determining what your product is. Okay, so let's back up and do some let's do some trademark analysis so you can understand how trademarks even work. First and foremost, what you're doing is you're protecting your brand name. or your logo from other people using that or a similar name to sell very similar products. So it's not a holistic thing. I can't go get a trademark to sell sunscreen and then people can't use that same brand name to open a restaurant. That is completely acceptable use. So you won't be protected like that. So you need to be very specific in exactly what you are talking about when you submit the application. Let's go over here to Trademarkia. It's one of my favorite websites when talking about trademarks. And let's take a look at some of these so you can see examples. Now, I personally have decided to search for Anchor because they're a incredibly successful supply. They sell power supplies on Amazon. I think they started on Amazon. They do millions of dollars a month with their power supplies for phones usually. So let's go take a look at one of their, actually let's take a look at this trademark because it looks a lot simpler. So here's what a trademark looks like. And this is the exact text that's going to be submitted to, even though the lawyer is going to help you if they're helpful, getting us the information, this is what's going to be submitted to the USPTO. So you see here, they specify exactly which products they are protecting. So this is not a case where you're saying, oh, I sell kitchen utensils. That's way too broad. They have to say exactly what you're selling. You are selling, okay, spatulas. You're selling metal forks. You have to be specific about what you're selling, and that's what you're being protected for. Now, it's not clear on Amazon, at least I don't know, what happens if you have a trademark for like 3 items, and then all of a sudden you decide to put every product you own under that trademark, even though those aren't actually legally protected. It seems like you'll still get access to all the brand registry benefits, even though technically your registry is not for those items. I guess it's a plus for new sellers, though it might be risky in the future if Amazon cracks down on stuff like that. Now, what's going to determine the cost of your application is the number of classes you're applying for. Okay? Because, again, we're going to be confusing you a little more. There are a lot of different classes that products fall into. So you can see here we've got chemical products and paint products and cosmetic cleaning products. And there are millions of products that fit under each of these. So when you submit an application, you are going to, 1, tell the USPTO which class you are applying for. And then you will tell them which products in that class you want to protect. So in this particular situation, we can see that Anchor, they are selling electric toothbrushes that fits under class 21, which is household or kitchen utensils and containers. Now, if you want to get a trademark for, say, 3 or 4 different products, those could very likely fit under different classes. Say you are selling toothbrushes, but you're also going ahead and selling car parts. Well, you're going to have to apply for a trademark in 2 classes, the one that fits for household products and the one that's for car parts. And that will cost you something like an extra $250 for each class that you have applied for. Now, if you are applying for a trademark for a product that you haven't sold yet, I wouldn't really recommend it. A, because it was going to cost me a lot more money because you have to. So when you submit at when you apply for a trademark, you do have up to 6 months in order to actually start selling the product. But then the lawyer was going to make us sign a bunch of forms saying, okay, yeah, we're definitely going to sell the product within 6 months. And also they're going to charge us something like an extra $500+ in order to do this. And that was for each class. And we want to apply for 2 classes, like $1,000. It was some stupid amount of money. I don't remember the exact numbers. I was like, why would I pay twice for a trademark when I could just wait until I start selling the products and get it in 2 weeks anyways? So my recommendation, wait till you started selling the products, okay? And also be very clear which ones you want to protect. Ask your lawyers, show them the listing, and help them determine which classes you're applying for. And also go look up your competitors, okay? It's so simple. If you want to see what class you should be in or what you should put as your descriptions for your products, just go get some of your competitors' brand names, go over here to Trademarkia, search for them, and you can see exactly what they have done and just copy it. That is the best way to do things in the world, copying like that. So I hope this helps. Remember what you're going to need, okay? You don't want to wait till your product is live. You're going to want to wait till it's actually selling because there's no reason to spend $1,000 on a product that might flop, okay? Then you want to contact one of these law firms, have yourself $1,000 and get access to brand registry in 2 weeks.